Understanding mental health struggles as part of the human condition. From the moment we're born, life begins to unfold, bringing with it a dizzying array of emotions and experiences, both joyful and challenging. We celebrate successes, mourn losses, and navigate the everyday bumps and bruises that come with simply existing. Yet somewhere along the way, many of us started believing that mental health struggles were somehow separate from this grand, messy human experience. We often internalize the idea that feelings like deep sadness, anxiety, or overwhelming stress are signs of a personal failing, something to be hidden away in the shadows. This belief, however, couldn't be further from the truth, disconnecting us from a fundamental aspect of our shared humanity. It's time to peel back those layers of misconception and truly understand that mental health is not an isolated condition, but an integral thread woven into the fabric of every single one of us. Think about it. When you catch a cold, you don't feel ashamed. You acknowledge it as a common human ailment, perhaps even sharing your symptoms with a friend. You seek comfort, maybe some medicine, and patiently wait for it to pass, understanding that your body is simply reacting to something external. But when our minds feel clouded, when persistent worry keeps us awake, or when a wave of sadness washes over us for no clear reason, a different narrative often takes hold. We might feel embarrassed, worry about being judged, or even convince ourselves we are somehow broken. This stark contrast highlights a societal disconnect that has lingered for far too long, creating an unnecessary burden of silence. The truth is, our minds are just as much a part of our physical being as our hearts, lungs, or bones. They are complex, intricate systems constantly processing information, emotions, and external stimuli. Just like any other organ, they can experience fatigue, injury, or simply react to the immense pressures of life. To expect our minds to operate flawlessly without ever faltering or needing a moment of repair is an unrealistic and unfair expectation. It ignores the very essence of what it means to be a living, breathing, feeling human being in a world full of unpredictable twists and turns. Consider the everyday struggles that touch almost everyone, regardless of their background or perceived strength. Who among us hasn't felt the crushing weight of stress before a big deadline, or the knot of anxiety in their stomach before an important conversation? We've all likely experienced moments of profound grief after a loss, or periods of feeling lost and directionless, wondering what our next step should be. These aren't rare anomalies reserved for a select few. They are universal touch points, familiar emotional landscapes that we all traverse at various points in our lives. They are not weaknesses, but rather powerful indicators of our capacity to feel, to care, and to engage deeply with the world around us. The spectrum of mental well-being is incredibly vast, ranging from moments of pure joy and contentment to periods of deep despair and everything in between. It's not a simple binary of sick or healthy, but a dynamic, ever-shifting state that responds to our environment, our relationships, and our internal dialogue. We rarely stay in one fixed spot. Instead, we flow and adapt, much like a river carving its path through different terrains. Understanding this fluidity helps us to be more compassionate with ourselves and others, recognizing that everyone is navigating their own unique current, sometimes smooth, sometimes turbulent. Major life transitions, for example, often bring with them a natural period of mental adjustment and potential struggle. A new job, a move to a different city, the end of a relationship, or the arrival of a new family member. All these significant events demand a great deal from our mental and emotional reserves. Even positive changes can be incredibly stressful, pushing us out of our comfort zones and forcing us to adapt in ways we hadn't anticipated. During these times, it is perfectly normal for feelings of anxiety, uncertainty, or even sadness to surface, as our minds work tirelessly to integrate the new reality into our existing framework. These experiences are not flaws in our character. They are simply part of the human operating system, wired to respond to change and challenge. Just as a computer might slow down when running too many programs, our minds can become overwhelmed when faced with too many demands or emotional stressors. Acknowledging this doesn't diminish our strength. In fact, it highlights our incredible resilience and adaptability. It reminds us that our capacity to feel deeply is also our capacity to heal, to grow, and to find new ways of coping with whatever life throws our way. Yet, despite this universality, a deep-seated pressure often compels us to present a facade of unwavering strength and constant happiness. We scroll through curated social media feeds, seeing only the highlights of others' lives, and mistakenly conclude that everyone else has it all figured out. This constant comparison fuels a cycle of silence, where we fear that revealing our authentic struggles will make us an outcast or a burden. We learn to bottle up our true feelings, pushing them down until they inevitably demand attention in ways that can be even more disruptive and painful, reinforcing the very isolation we dread. Embracing vulnerability becomes a powerful antidote to this isolating pressure, creating a pathway to genuine connection and self-acceptance. When we dare to be honest about our internal landscape, even if it's just with ourselves, we begin to dismantle the walls we've built around our pain. This isn't about wallowing in negativity. It's about acknowledging the full spectrum of our experience, good and bad, light and shadow. It's in these moments of brave honesty that we find not weakness, but a profound strength that allows us to move forward with greater authenticity and resilience, opening the door for others to do the same. When we open up, we often discover that the very struggles we thought were unique to us are, in fact, incredibly common. That friend who always seems so put together might confess to battling imposter syndrome, or a family member you admire might share their quiet struggle with anxiety. These shared revelations create a profound sense of relief and connection, reminding us that we are not alone in our journey. It transforms what felt like a personal failing into a shared human experience, fostering empathy and understanding in ways that silence never could. Even those who dedicate their lives to helping others, like therapists and counselors, are not immune to the complexities of the human condition. We, too, navigate grief, stress, anxiety, and periods of self-doubt. The idea that mental health professionals are somehow fixed or immune to struggle is another myth that needs to be dispelled. Our training and experience equip us with tools and understanding, but they don't erase our humanity. In fact, it is often through our own experiences that we cultivate deeper empathy and a more profound understanding of the challenges our clients face. This shared humanity is not a flaw. It is our greatest asset, both personally and professionally. It allows us to connect on a deeper, more authentic level, recognizing that beneath the titles and roles, we are all just people trying our best to make sense of life. Understanding that struggle is a universal language, spoken by everyone, can be incredibly liberating. It shifts the narrative from one of shame and isolation to one of shared growth and mutual support, making the path forward feel less daunting and more navigable. Moving away from the idea of mental illness as something separate and toward understanding mental health struggles as a natural part of the human experience changes everything. It reframes our perspective, allowing us to approach these challenges with curiosity and compassion rather than fear and judgment. We begin to see moments of sadness or anxiety not as defects, but as signals from our inner world, prompting us to pay closer attention to our needs and seek the support we deserve. This shift in perspective is not just empowering, it is essential for fostering a healthier, more connected society. Ultimately, embracing this truth, that mental health struggles are an intrinsic part of being human, is an act of profound self-compassion. It means giving ourselves permission to not always be okay, to ask for help when we need it, and to extend the same grace to others. When we stop fighting against our natural emotional landscape and start listening to what it's telling us, we unlock a powerful capacity for healing and genuine connection. It's a reminder that our shared vulnerability is not a weakness, but the very foundation of our collective strength, allowing us to build a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and understood. So as we continue through these pages, let's carry this fundamental understanding with us. You are not broken. You are simply human. Your experiences, your feelings, and yes, even your struggles, are valid and deserving of compassion. By acknowledging this truth, we not only lighten our own burdens, but also contribute to a world where mental well-being is openly discussed, deeply understood, and universally supported. This journey of listening, both to ourselves and to each other, is where true healing and transformative change truly begin to take root. Coping with grief and loss. Shared journeys. Grief, in its rawest form, is an inevitable part of the human experience, far more expansive than just the loss of a loved one. It encompasses the end of a relationship, the departure of a dream, the fading of a cherished identity, or even the subtle shift in life circumstances that leaves us feeling adrift. These moments of loss, big or small, carve deep valleys in our emotional landscape, often catching us off guard with their intensity and persistence. We might find ourselves grappling with feelings we never anticipated, struggling to reconcile the world as it was with the world as it now is. Understanding that grief is a natural response to any significant change, not just death, helps us to frame our experiences with more compassion and less self-judgment. It's a profound testament to our capacity for connection, proving that what we love deeply, we also mourn deeply when it is gone. This universal truth binds us together, making our individual struggles a part of a much larger, shared human tapestry. Recognizing this shared journey can be the first step toward finding solace and strength. While the experience of loss is universal, the way each person navigates their grief is profoundly unique, like fingerprints etched onto a tender heart. There's no single roadmap, no correct timeline, and certainly no prescribed set of emotions that must be felt in a particular order. One person might find comfort in solitude, withdrawing to process their pain internally, while another might seek constant connection, needing the warmth of others to feel grounded. Some express their sorrow through tears and outward displays, while others carry it quietly, a heavy weight beneath a calm exterior. These differences are not a sign of right or wrong, but rather a reflection of our individual personalities, our past experiences, and the specific nature of what we have lost. It's a deeply personal journey, yet paradoxically, it's one that connects us all through the common thread of vulnerability and sorrow. Allowing ourselves and others the space for their unique process is a powerful act of empathy. Many of us have heard about the 5 stages of grief, a concept often misunderstood as a linear path one must follow to heal. In reality, grief rarely unfolds in such an orderly fashion. It's far more like a turbulent ocean, with waves of emotion crashing unpredictably. You might feel a surge of anger one moment, a profound sadness the next, followed by a fleeting sense of peace, only for denial to creep back in hours later. There's no skipping stages, no rushing the process, and no going backwards if you revisit an earlier feeling. This messy, cyclical, and often chaotic nature of grief is precisely what makes it so challenging and at times isolating. We might question if we're grieving correctly, comparing our experience to an imagined ideal. Yet embracing the unpredictability of grief, understanding that it's a fluctuating landscape of emotions, can free us from the pressure of adhering to an artificial timeline. It allows us to simply be with our feelings as they arise, trusting in our own capacity to navigate the currents. The impact of grief reaches far beyond our emotional state, often manifesting in tangible ways within our bodies and minds. It can feel like a heavy cloak, weighing down our limbs and clouding our thoughts, making even simple tasks seem insurmountable. Sleep patterns often go awry, leaving us either restless and awake through the night or wanting to sleep for endless hours, seeking escape. Our appetite might vanish, or we might find ourselves eating for comfort, creating a cycle of physical discomfort. Headaches, muscle tension, and a pervasive sense of fatigue are common companions during periods of intense sorrow. Cognitively, grief can make it difficult to focus, remember things, or make decisions, leaving us feeling disoriented and less capable than usual. This profound interconnectedness between our mental and physical well-being highlights how deeply loss affects our entire being. It underscores the importance of tending to both our emotional wounds and our physical needs during these challenging times. Recognizing these physical symptoms as part of the grieving process can help us be more patient and kind to ourselves. One of the most persistent myths about grief is the idea that we eventually get over it, as if it were an illness to be cured or a hurdle to be cleared. This notion often sets us up for disappointment and further pain, implying that there's an endpoint where the sorrow simply vanishes. In truth, we don't necessarily get over grief. Instead, we learn to carry it differently, integrating the experience of loss into the fabric of who we are. The sharp edges of pain might soften over time, transforming into a dull ache or a quiet remembrance, but the memory of what was lost often remains. It becomes a part of our story, shaping our perspectives and influencing our understanding of the world. This integration isn't about forgetting or replacing what we lost. It's about making space for it within our lives, allowing it to coexist with new joys and experiences. It's about building a life around the loss, not trying to erase it entirely. This reframing offers a more realistic and compassionate view of healing. In the isolating fog of grief, finding connection with others who have walked similar paths can be a lifeline, illuminating the truth that we are not truly alone. When we hear someone else articulate feelings we thought were uniquely ours, a profound sense of validation washes over us, easing the burden of unspoken pain. Sharing stories of loss, even if they are vastly different in their specifics, creates a bridge of understanding and empathy that transcends individual circumstances. It's in these shared journeys that we often find the courage to express our own vulnerability, knowing that our feelings will be met not with judgment, but with genuine compassion. This collective experience reminds us that suffering is a universal thread woven into the human condition, making our personal struggles feel less isolating and more connected. The simple act of bearing witness to another's grief and having them bear witness to ours can be an incredibly powerful step towards healing and acceptance. It builds a communal space where sorrow is acknowledged, not shunned. Even those of us who sit on the listening couch, offering guidance and support, are not immune to the profound experience of grief and loss. Clinicians, too, navigate their own personal journeys of sorrow, whether it's the quiet ache of a missed opportunity, the heartbreak of a personal relationship ending, or the devastating impact of losing a loved one. This shared humanity is a crucial, though often unspoken aspect of the therapeutic relationship, forging a deeper, more authentic connection beneath the professional surface. It reminds us that empathy isn't just a learned skill. It often stems from our own encounters with pain and vulnerability. When a therapist sits with a grieving client, they bring not only their training, but also their own understanding of what it means to hurt and to heal. This shared experience, though not explicitly discussed, creates a powerful undercurrent of understanding and compassion. It underscores the book's central theme, that struggle is a universal language, spoken by everyone, expert and seeker alike. Allowing ourselves to be truly vulnerable in the face of grief is perhaps the most challenging, yet most crucial step towards healing. It means shedding the protective layers we've built around our hearts and daring to expose the raw, tender wound that loss has left behind. This vulnerability might feel terrifying, opening us up to the possibility of more pain or the fear of being misunderstood or judged by others. Yet it's precisely in this openness that genuine connection can form, both with ourselves and with those who care for us. When we bravely articulate our sorrow, our anger, or our confusion, we create space for those emotions to be seen, acknowledged, and ultimately processed. Suppressing grief only prolongs its grip, forcing it into the shadows where it can fester and grow. Embracing vulnerability is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of immense courage, a declaration that our pain is real and worthy of attention. It is the key that unlocks the door to genuine comfort and support. No one is meant to navigate the treacherous waters of grief entirely alone. A strong support system acts as a vital anchor in the storm. This network can comprise close friends who offer a listening ear without judgment, family members who provide practical help and unwavering presence, or even support groups where shared experiences foster a unique sense of belonging. Sometimes, the most comforting presence is simply someone who can sit with you in silence, acknowledging your pain without feeling the need to fix it. These connections are not about erasing the grief, but about lightening its load, making it feel less overwhelming and more manageable. Leaning on others requires a degree of trust and vulnerability, but the solace found in knowing you have people who care deeply for your well-being is immeasurable. It reminds us that even in our darkest moments, there are hands reaching out, ready to help us steady ourselves. Building and accepting this support is a profound act of self-care. In the wake of loss, finding ways to honor and remember what has been taken can become a powerful part of the healing journey, transforming pain into purpose. This might involve creating new rituals, like lighting a candle on a significant date, planting a tree in memory, or compiling a photo album that celebrates cherished moments. Such acts of remembrance are not about dwelling in the past, but about acknowledging the enduring impact of what was lost and integrating it meaningfully into our present. They provide a tangible way to express love and connection, allowing us to keep the essence of what was lost alive in our hearts and minds. These rituals, whether personal or shared, offer a sense of continuity and a quiet space for reflection amidst the chaos of grief. They help us to find beauty and meaning, even in sorrow, creating a legacy of love that transcends physical absence. Remembering is not forgetting. It is a way of carrying forward what matters most. The love we feel for what we have lost does not simply vanish with absence. It transforms, becoming an enduring thread woven into the fabric of our being. While the physical presence may be gone, the emotional connection, the memories, and the lessons learned persist, shaping who we are and how we move through the world. This ongoing bond is not a sign that we are stuck in our grief, but rather a testament to the profound capacity of the human heart to love beyond boundaries. It means that the person, the dream, or the chapter you lost can still contribute to your life, albeit in a different form, through the wisdom gained or the values instilled. Learning to recognize and cherish this continuing connection can bring a quiet comfort, reminding us that love, in its truest sense, is never truly lost. It simply changes its address, residing in the sacred space of our memories and the quiet corners of our hearts. This perspective offers a gentle pathway to carrying love forward. Amidst the profound sorrow that accompanies grief, the human spirit, remarkably, often finds glimmers of hope, not as an erasure of pain, but as a guiding light forward. This hope isn't about forgetting the loss or pretending it didn't happen. It's about discovering the quiet strength within to continue living, to find moments of joy, and to build a meaningful future that honors the past. It might manifest as a renewed appreciation for life, a deeper connection with loved ones, or a newfound sense of purpose born from adversity. Moving forward with grief means learning to carry the sorrow alongside moments of happiness, the understanding that both can coexist within us. It's about accepting that life continues, and we too must continue to engage with it, even with a heavy heart. This journey of finding hope is deeply personal and unfolds at its own pace, but it is a testament to our innate resilience and our capacity for growth even in the shadow of loss. Hope is not denial. It is the quiet courage to embrace life again. Sometimes, through the crucible of intense grief and loss, individuals can experience what is known as post-traumatic growth, a profound shift in perspective that emerges from facing immense adversity. This isn't to say that the loss itself is a good thing, or that pain is a prerequisite for growth, but rather that the challenging process of navigating sorrow can, for some, lead to unexpected transformations. People might report a deeper appreciation for life, stronger relationships, a clearer sense of purpose, or a newfound spiritual understanding. It's about recognizing that even after experiencing a devastating earthquake in one's life, there's an opportunity to rebuild with a stronger foundation, perhaps even with a more beautiful design. This growth is not a betrayal of what was lost, but rather a testament to the enduring human capacity to adapt, learn, and evolve, even in the face of profound hardship. It's a quiet strength that often reveals itself long after the initial storm has passed. It highlights the complex and often surprising pathways of healing. Perhaps one of the most vital lessons in coping with grief is the profound importance of granting ourselves permission to feel every single emotion that arises, without judgment or expectation. There's no right way to feel, and trying to force ourselves into a specific emotional state only adds another layer of suffering to an already heavy burden. If anger surfaces, allow it to be there. If tears flow freely, let them cleanse. If numbness takes hold, accept its temporary presence. This radical acceptance of our emotional landscape creates a safe internal space for healing to unfold naturally at its own pace. It's about being a compassionate witness to our own pain, rather than an internal critic. Giving ourselves this remission is an act of profound self-love, acknowledging that what we are experiencing is valid, human, and necessary. It frees us from the exhausting effort of emotional suppression, allowing our energy to be directed towards genuine processing and eventual integration. This self-compassion is a cornerstone of true healing. The journey through grief demands immense patience, both with ourselves and with the process itself, understanding that healing is rarely a race or a straight line. There's no magic formula or shortcut that will whisk away the pain. It requires time, often far more than we initially anticipate or wish for. Rushing ourselves or feeling pressured to be over it by a certain point only leads to frustration and a deeper sense of inadequacy. Each day brings its own unique set of challenges and small victories, and some days will undoubtedly feel harder than others, pulling us back into familiar waves of sorrow. Learning to ride these waves, trusting that they will eventually recede, is a crucial part of building resilience. It means accepting that healing is not about forgetting, but about learning to live with the memory of what was lost, allowing it to become a part of our story without consuming us. Patience is a gentle companion on this difficult path, reminding us that growth unfolds organically. It is a quiet trust in our own innate capacity to mend. Ultimately, coping with grief and loss is a shared journey, a testament to our collective humanity, reminding us that no matter how isolated we may feel, we are always connected by the universal experience of love and its inevitable counterpart, loss. Whether we are the one sitting on the couch seeking solace or the one offering a listening ear, we all carry stories of what we've lost and how those losses have shaped us. These shared narratives, often unspoken but deeply felt, create an invisible bond, fostering empathy and understanding across individual experiences. It is in acknowledging this common ground, this shared vulnerability, that we find not only comfort but also immense strength. The path through grief may be winding and difficult, but knowing that others have walked it and are walking it alongside us can make the journey feel less daunting and more hopeful. Our shared capacity for both sorrow and resilience is a profound reminder of what it means to be truly human, embracing personal growth amidst life's inevitable challenges. Life, as we all eventually discover, isn't a straight path without bumps or detours. It's more like a winding road, sometimes smooth, sometimes rocky. We often hope for an easy journey, free from hardship, but the truth is, challenges are an unavoidable part of being human. From small daily frustrations to significant life-altering events, these moments test our limits and our patience. Yet, it's precisely within these difficult times that we find our greatest opportunities for change and self-discovery. Instead of viewing every obstacle as a roadblock, we can start to see it as a chance to learn something new about ourselves. This shift in perspective is often the first, crucial step toward truly embracing personal growth. It means understanding that the struggle itself holds valuable lessons, waiting to be unearthed. We can choose to shrink from the difficulty or step into it, ready to grow. It's natural to want to avoid pain, to steer clear of anything that feels uncomfortable or scary. Our brains are wired to protect us, to seek safety and familiarity above all else. When faced with a setback, our first instinct might be to retreat, to wish the problem away, or to pretend it doesn't exist. This protective mechanism, while understandable, can sometimes prevent us from experiencing the very things that make us stronger. Think about a time you tried something new and it felt awkward or difficult. Maybe you wanted to give up right away. However, if you pushed through that initial discomfort, you likely learned a new skill, or gained confidence. This shows us that true personal growth rarely happens in our comfort zones. It usually begins just outside them, where things feel a little uncertain. Adversity, though unwelcome, has a peculiar way of revealing hidden strengths we never knew we possessed. It's like a pressure test for our character, showing us what we're truly made of when the stakes are high. Perhaps you faced a challenge that forced you to be more independent, to speak up for yourself, or to find creative solutions to unexpected problems. These experiences aren't just about getting through a tough spot. They're about discovering inner resources you might have otherwise left untapped. Every time we navigate a difficult situation, we add another tool to our emotional toolkit. We become more resilient, more capable, and more self-aware. This process of unearthing our inner power is a vital part of our human journey, connecting us to a deeper sense of self. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back to where you were before a challenge hit, it's often about bouncing forward, transformed by the experience. Imagine a sturdy tree bending in a strong wind, not breaking, but growing stronger roots and a more flexible trunk. When we face tough times, we don't just endure them, we integrate the lessons learned into the fabric of who we are. This means that after a significant challenge, you might not be the exact same person you were before. You might be a wiser, more compassionate, or more determined version of yourself. This forward movement, this evolution, is the very essence of personal growth. It's about taking the hard-won wisdom from difficult moments and using it to build a more robust and meaningful future. Growth is rarely a smooth, linear progression. It's often messy, with 2 steps forward and 1 step back. We might stumble, make mistakes, or even feel like we're failing, and that's perfectly okay. The goal isn't to perfectly handle every single challenge that comes our way, but rather to engage with the process of learning and adapting. Think about learning to ride a bike. You fall, you get back up, and eventually you find your balance. Each fall isn't a failure, but a crucial part of mastering the skill. Similarly in life, it's the effort we put into understanding our struggles and adjusting our approach that truly counts. This continuous effort, this willingness to keep trying, is where real, lasting personal growth takes root and flourishes within us. One of the most powerful shifts we can make is changing how we view problems. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable obstacles, we can train ourselves to see them as opportunities in disguise. This doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not, but rather searching for the potential for growth embedded within the difficulty. Perhaps a disappointment leads you to discover a new passion, or a conflict forces you to improve your communication skills. When we adopt this mindset, we start asking, what can I learn from this? Or how can this make me stronger? These questions open doors to solutions and insights that we might miss if we were only focused on the negative aspects. This conscious choice to seek growth transforms our entire experience of life's inevitable challenges. Consider some common challenges many of us face. Maybe you didn't get into your dream college, or a close friendship ended unexpectedly, or your family went through a tough financial period. These situations can feel devastating in the moment, shaking our sense of stability and future. However, they also force us to reevaluate our priorities, our values, and our support systems. Not getting into one college might lead you to another where you thrive even more, discovering new interests and people. A friendship breakup, though painful, could teach you important lessons about boundaries and self-worth. These experiences, while tough, push us to adapt, to grow, and to build a stronger foundation for our lives moving forward. Embracing vulnerability is a cornerstone of this personal growth amidst challenges. It takes courage to admit when you're struggling, to say, I don't know, or to ask for help. Often, we try to put on a brave face, fearing that showing our true feelings will make us seem weak or incapable. However, true strength lies in acknowledging our human limitations and reaching out for connection. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open the door to genuine support from others who have faced similar struggles. This shared humanity, this understanding that we are not alone in our difficulties, is incredibly healing and empowering. It's through this openness that we find new perspectives and collective resilience. During these challenging times, it's also incredibly important to practice self-compassion. Just as you would offer kindness and understanding to a friend who is struggling, extend that same gentle patience to yourself. It's okay to feel sad, angry, or scared. These emotions are valid and part of the human experience. Beating yourself up for not handling things perfectly only adds another layer of difficulty to an already tough situation. Instead, acknowledge your feelings without judgment and remind yourself that you are doing your best. Treating yourself with kindness, even when you feel like you're falling short, creates a safe space for healing and growth to occur. This gentle approach is essential for navigating life's storms. Reflection plays a critical role in integrating the lessons learned from our experiences. Taking time to quietly think about what happened how you felt, and what you did can provide invaluable insights. Journaling, talking to a trusted friend, or simply sitting with your thoughts can help you process difficult emotions and identify patterns. What worked well? What could you have done differently? What new strengths did you discover? This thoughtful examination allows you to extract the wisdom from your challenges, turning raw experience into meaningful understanding. Without reflection, we risk repeating old patterns or missing out on the profound growth opportunities that adversity presents. It helps us build a narrative of resilience. Remember, you don't have to face life's challenges alone. Building and leaning on a strong support system is a powerful way to navigate tough periods. This might include family members, close friends, teachers, mentors, or even a therapist. Sharing your struggles with someone you trust not only lightens your burden, but also provides different perspectives and practical advice. Sometimes just knowing that someone is there to listen can make all the difference. We are social beings, and connection is a fundamental human need, especially when we are feeling vulnerable. Allowing others to support you is a sign of strength, not weakness, and it significantly enhances your capacity for growth and healing. Ultimately, personal growth is not a destination you arrive at, but a continuous journey that unfolds throughout your life. There will always be new challenges, new lessons, and new opportunities to evolve. It's about embracing the process, understanding that every twist and turn contributes to the rich tapestry of who you are becoming. Each time you face a difficulty with courage and a willingness to learn, you are actively participating in your own development. This ongoing process of becoming is what makes life so dynamic and meaningful. It's about accepting that growth is an endless adventure, filled with both struggles and triumphs, shaping you into a more complete person. So, perhaps it is time to listen to the whispers of discomfort, to the loud calls of adversity, and most importantly, to the quiet wisdom within yourself. These challenges, no matter how daunting they seem, are not meant to break you, but to bend you, to shape you, and ultimately, to strengthen you. They offer a unique chance to understand your own resilience, and capacity for change. By leaning into these moments rather than away from them, you unlock a profound potential for growth that lies dormant within us all. This journey of self-discovery, fueled by vulnerability and a willingness to learn, is one of the most rewarding aspects of the human experience. Even in the darkest moments when everything feels overwhelming, remember that there is always a seed of growth waiting to sprout. It might be a newfound empathy, a clearer sense of purpose, or an unbreakable inner strength you never knew you had. These profound changes don't just happen. They are forged in the fires of adversity, emerging stronger and brighter than before. Embrace the challenges, trust in your ability to navigate them, and watch as you transform into a more resilient, more authentic version of yourself. This is the beautiful ongoing work of being human, a testament to our enduring capacity for growth and renewal. The role of therapy in navigating complex life transitions. Life rarely stands still, and while that can be exciting, it also means we're constantly moving through different phases and experiences. Think about all the big moments that shape us. Starting a new school, moving to a different town, navigating a parent's divorce, or even figuring out what comes after high school. These aren't just minor adjustments. They are complex life transitions that can feel like the ground beneath our feet is shifting. They challenge us to adapt, to let go of what was familiar, and to step into the unknown, often bringing a mix of anticipation and profound uncertainty. These complex transitions aren't always about sadness or loss. Sometimes they involve exciting new beginnings that still come with significant stress. Maybe you're heading off to college, starting your first job, or moving away from home for the first time. Even positive changes demand a lot from us emotionally and mentally, requiring us to reevaluate our identities and our place in the world. They force us to grow in ways we might not have anticipated, pushing us beyond our comfort zones, whether we feel ready or not. It's during these times that our usual ways of coping might not feel quite enough to handle the intensity of it all. The reason these periods feel so difficult is that they often disrupt our sense of who we are and what we can rely on. Our routines change, our relationships might shift, and the future can seem hazy. making us feel unmoored. It's like sailing into uncharted waters without a clear map, and the waves can feel overwhelming at times. We might question our decisions, doubt our abilities, or feel a deep sense of loneliness, even if we're surrounded by people. This internal struggle is a normal part of processing significant change, but it doesn't make the experience any less challenging to navigate alone. Often, our first instinct is to try and handle everything ourselves, to put on a brave face and pretend we've got it all together. We might worry about burdening others or believe that asking for help makes us seem weak or incapable. This tendency to internalize our struggles is deeply ingrained in many of us, yet it can leave us feeling isolated and even more overwhelmed. While self-reliance is a valuable trait, there are moments in life when going it alone simply isn't the most effective or healthiest path. Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is reach out for a guiding hand. This is precisely where therapy can play a powerful and often misunderstood role. It's not just for when things feel completely broken, but rather a valuable resource for navigating those normal, yet incredibly difficult periods of life transition. Think of it as having a dedicated guide as you journey through unfamiliar territory, helping you make sense of the landscape and find your footing. Therapy offers a structured space to process the emotional upheaval that comes with change, empowering you to move forward with greater clarity and resilience. It's a proactive step toward managing your mental and emotional well-being during pivotal moments. One of the most significant benefits of therapy during transitions is simply having a safe, confidential, and non-judgmental space to talk. In our daily lives, we might censor our thoughts or feelings, fearing judgment from friends or family, or worrying that we're overreacting. A therapist provides an unbiased ear, allowing you to openly explore every fear, doubt, and hope without reservation. This freedom to be completely honest, without needing to protect anyone else's feelings, can be incredibly liberating and healing. It creates a sanctuary where your true self can emerge and be understood. Moreover, a therapist offers a unique perspective that can be hard to find elsewhere. When you're in the thick of a transition, your own emotions and experiences can cloud your judgment, making it difficult to see the bigger picture. A therapist, as an objective third party, can help you identify patterns, challenge unhelpful thoughts, and consider alternative viewpoints you might have missed. They don't tell you what to do, but rather help you gain clarity and insight into your own situation. This fresh perspective can be invaluable in making informed decisions and understanding your reactions more deeply. Therapy is also a practical workshop for building and refining coping skills that are essential during times of change. You'll learn strategies to manage stress, reduce anxiety, and navigate difficult emotions like sadness or anger in healthy ways. These aren't just quick fixes. They are tools you can carry with you long after your current transition has passed, strengthening your ability to handle future challenges. Learning to identify triggers, practice mindfulness, or develop effective communication techniques can transform how you experience and respond to life's inevitable ups and downs. It's about empowering you with the resources to help yourself. Processing emotions is another critical aspect that therapy facilitates during complex transitions. When life shifts dramatically, it's common to experience a whirlwind of feelings: grief for what's lost, excitement for what's new, fear of the unknown, or even resentment. Without a healthy outlet, these emotions can become overwhelming or get bottled up, leading to increased stress or physical symptoms. A therapist provides a safe space to unpack these feelings, helping you understand their origins and learn how to acknowledge and move through them constructively. This emotional release is a vital step toward healing and acceptance. Beyond just coping, therapy can help you identify underlying patterns in how you react to change, often linking them to past experiences or ingrained beliefs. Perhaps you tend to withdraw when faced with uncertainty, or maybe you become overly critical of yourself during new challenges. By understanding these recurring patterns, you gain valuable self-awareness, allowing you to consciously choose different, more helpful responses in the future. This deeper insight into your own psychological framework is a powerful step toward breaking old habits and forging new, healthier pathways for growth. Ultimately, Therapy plays a significant role in building genuine resilience, which isn't about avoiding pain, but about learning to adapt and grow stronger through adversity. It helps you recognize your inner strengths and develop a deeper sense of self-trust, even when circumstances feel unstable. Through the therapeutic process, you learn that you possess the capacity to navigate tough times, to bounce back, and to emerge from challenges with newfound wisdom. This cultivation of resilience is a lifelong asset, preparing you for whatever changes life may bring your way. During periods of transition, our sense of purpose and direction can sometimes feel lost or unclear. Therapy can be instrumental in helping you clarify your personal values, understand what truly matters to you, and set new goals that align with your evolving self. It's a chance to reflect on your priorities and consciously shape the next chapter of your life, rather than simply letting circumstances dictate your path. This process of redefining your purpose can bring a profound sense of meaning and direction, even amidst uncertainty. It helps you become the architect of your own future. It's important to remember that a therapist doesn't have all the answers for you, nor do they tell you what decisions to make. Instead, they act as a guide, helping you explore your own thoughts and feelings so that you can discover your own solutions. They provide the tools and support, but the journey of self-discovery and growth is ultimately yours. This empowers you to build confidence in your ability to navigate life's complexities independently, knowing you have the inner resources to face whatever comes next. The goal is to help you find your own inner compass. Seeking therapy during a complex life transition is not a sign of weakness. It is, in fact, an incredible act of courage and self-care. It demonstrates a willingness to be vulnerable, to acknowledge when you need support, and to invest in your own mental and emotional well-being. Just as you might consult a coach for a sport or a tutor for a difficult subject, a therapist is a professional who can help you navigate the intricacies of your inner world during challenging times. It's a proactive choice to prioritize your mental health and personal growth. Embracing vulnerability, a core theme of this book, is deeply intertwined with the decision to seek therapeutic support. Opening up to a therapist about your fears, anxieties, and uncertainties requires a profound level of honesty and courage. It means shedding the pretense of having it all figured out and allowing someone to witness your authentic struggles. This act of vulnerability in a safe space is often the catalyst for significant personal growth, helping you connect more deeply with yourself and eventually with others. It's a powerful step towards self-acceptance. Ultimately, navigating complex life transitions is a shared human experience, full of twists and turns that no one should have to face entirely alone. Therapy offers a powerful avenue for support, insight, and skill building, transforming challenging periods into opportunities for profound personal growth. It provides a beacon of hope and a steady hand as you journey through change, reminding you that it's okay to ask for help when life feels overwhelming. Remember, reaching out is not giving up. It's choosing to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient.